Hello everybody, the Quiet Atheist here. This particular video that I'm making today is going to be a direct response video to slimjim77M. So Slim Jim, the first thing that I want to talk about is the title of your video. You're implying that we atheists worship aliens as gods, if you will. Now, I am not going to sit here and speak for other atheists. I will be speaking on my own position. However, I think that there will be a number of atheists that will agree with me on this particular issue. If you want to talk about people worshiping aliens as gods, please go to Scientology and talk to those people. Because I really don't think you have any ground to stand on when you talk about atheists worshiping aliens as God. And that's what I wanted to talk about first. The next thing that I want to talk about in your video is the fact that you say we atheists have faith in the possibility of there being aliens out there in the universe and have planets of their own. Now, naturally, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this particular issue. I require the evidence that suggests that there are aliens that have planets of their own outside in this particular universe that we live in. And that is my position on this particular issue. Now, when it comes to life being on other planets, I believe that there can be bacteria on other planets. And in order to really understand what you're talking about, and in order to really understand this, you could literally look for examples here on the planet that we live on. For instance, there is bacteria that is able to thrive and survive in environments that we humans will literally die in. And I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand about this particular subject. I'm pretty sure that you can literally look for the information yourself. All you have to do is Google it. The next thing that I want to talk about in your video is the fact that you say that we atheists like to have something tangible, that we like to have something that can be verified by the scientific method on whether or not it is true. And I'm going to have to agree with you on this particular subject. Because in all actuality, to have the information on something existing is something that can be beneficial for a lot of people in society as we know it. You Christians, on the other hand, are the exact opposite. You guys rather believe in something that cannot be verified to be true in any way, shape, or form. In all actuality, all you have is your faith. And that is not going to get you anywhere when it comes to providing the evidence on whether something exists or not. And that is what I feel about this particular issue. The next thing that I want to talk about in your particular video is the fact that you say that we atheists basically think that Christians are afraid of science and that Christians are afraid of technology and technological breakthroughs. And I'm going to have to agree with this particular issue because there are a lot of Christians out there who do not believe in science. In fact, they do everything under their power to say that exact thing, that they don't believe in science and that science is of the devil, if you will, and that the devil likes to play tricks with this science. Now, this is something that can be researched out there online in other YouTube videos as well. You can look for this yourself, and it will actually suggest that Christians are afraid of science and are aware that technological breakthroughs can be frightening. And like I said before, I'm not going to hold your hand on this particular issue, but you can look for it yourself. The next thing that I want to talk about in your video is the fact that you say that we atheists are funny people because we deny the existence of God and at the same time believe in the possibility of life on other planets. Now, again, I have a problem with that word, believe. And I think that the probability for life being on other planets is much higher than it is for your God, of course. And that's all I have to say about that particular issue. And if you want to continue this discussion, please do the research and be honest with yourself at the same time, because right now it is not really looking good for you. The next thing that I want to talk about in your video is the fact that you say that there was in one point in time where people thought that the earth was flat. And you say this as if there is no more people that believe in this particular issue. I will disagree with you on this particular thing because there are people out there who still to this day believe that the earth is flat and don't have a round shape. And if you want to know more about this particular information, a link will be provided in the description down below for you to take a look at. And the organization that I'm going to be talking about in that particular link is going to be the Flat Earth Society. In all actuality, they do still believe that the earth is very flat, despite the evidence to the contrary. They do not care that they have been proven wrong. They continue to believe this as each day goes by. The next thing that I want to talk about in your particular video was the fact that you said we atheists basically say that Christians want to promote ignorance and that religion wants to promote ignorance in society as we know it. Now, naturally, I'm going to agree with you on this. I think that religious individuals want to promote ignorance and they basically want to stay away from the facts. Now, another thing that really made me laugh about this whole issue is the fact that you seem to blame the Catholic Church for doing this, and that the Catholic Church was the only denomination of Christianity that was actually promoting ignorance, if you will, and didn't want to learn the facts. Now, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this particular matter. It is this particular religion in general that basically wants to avoid the facts, and they don't want to teach any of the facts with what they have regarding their faith. And that is what I feel about this particular issue. The next thing that I wanted to talk about in your video was the fact that you had a question. You know, how long are we willing to wait for mankind to develop the technology to literally get to the nitty-gritty of the universe? And personally, for me, I don't look at it as waiting. I mean, let's face it, this type of technology is probably going to be there after you and I are long gone. So I don't really feel the need to wait for these things. I know in time that it will develop. I know that in time research will lead to future technology giving us the opportunity to travel in space. So when you actually refer to it as being a waiting game, I have to disagree with you, because again, this technology is basically going to develop after you and I are long gone, and basically there's nothing that we can do about it but just really appreciate the research that scientists are doing. The next thing that I want to talk about in your particular video was the fact that you said we atheists hope that there's life on other planets and that we are willing to hope for this pretty much all of the time. And I'm going to have to disagree with you on this particular position, naturally, because I do not hope that there is going to be life out there on other planets. I think that if we do discover life on other planets, it would be an amazing accomplishment by science. Because let's face it, scientists are working very hard when it comes to research and space in general. So again, I really do not hope that there is going to be any kind of life on other planets, because like I said before, if there is life on other planets and if it is discovered, it's going to happen way after you and I are gone. Now, another thing that I had a problem with in your video is the fact that you did say that we are willing to hold on to this so tightly that we are not willing to consider any other kind of information. And that is simply not the case. I'm not willing to hold on to anything tightly. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of atheists in general can agree with what I have to say about this. I mean, I do not hold onto these particular possibilities of life being on other planets. Because like I said before, the evidence has to be presented for these types of things. And basically, I do not hope that there's evidence. If there's evidence that comes later on down the line due to science and the scientists doing the research, well, then that's a good accomplishment, like I said. But I do not hope for this, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of atheists can agree with me on this. You mentioned in your video that it cost NASA billions and billions of dollars to send the rover to Mars, when in all actuality, all it costed was $2.5 billion to send the rover to Mars. The problem that I have with this whole particular situation is the fact that you seem to think that this is a lot of money, when in all actuality, it is not that much money to begin with. During the whole 9-year period, it cost every American here in the United States just $8. And that is really not that big of an amount of money. In fact, the theocracy that runs this particular country that we live in seems to throw a lot of money to other things that far exceeds what NASA actually spends money on. And I will be getting into those things here shortly in this video that I'm responding to you with. You then take it upon yourself to mention that there is not a trace of water on Mars, that there is no evidence of any kind of water whatsoever. Now, naturally, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this particular position because obviously you do not understand. Now, there has been water that has been discovered on Mars, and I'm going to be sharing a little paragraph with you. And keep in mind that all of the links to what I am talking about in this video towards you will be provided in the description down below for you to take a look at as well. NASA's Mars rover Curiosity has discovered that there is water locked up in the Martian dirt, with each cubic foot of surface soil made up of 2% water. See our full story on the Mars water discovery and our gallery below. That's what I wanted to share with you, because I think that the statement that you made about no water being on Mars is flawed. I just wanted you to know that. You know, Slim Jim, you basically take it upon yourself to basically say that science is wasting money for sending a rover to Mars to gain information about that particular planet. And naturally, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this particular position. They do this to expand the knowledge of mankind, to give us the opportunity to learn about other things. And that is what is important here. You see, religion is not designed to do that. And I will be getting into that a little bit later on in this particular video. But since we are talking about wasting money, I'm sure that you are aware that this country is being run by a bunch of theocratic individuals like yourself. They basically endorse the idea that God has given them the go-ahead, if you will, to do the things that they do in this particular country. And as a result of this country is suffering in a lot of ways. And I was doing a little bit of research today, and the numbers that I found for what I was looking for really surprised me. And I didn't really actually know the numbers about a particular situation that I'm going to share with you until today. And I have to say again that there was an incredible amount of money wasted by theocratic individuals such as yourself in this particular country. First and foremost, do you know how much the Iraq war costed? Well, just in case you don't know, it was $807.4 billion wasted on the Iraq war. And just so you know, it costed $570.9 billion for the Afghanistan war, with a grand total of $1.38 trillion. And the price tag is still climbing on that. Why? Because a group of religious individuals like yourself that run this particular country deem it necessary to go to other countries and have wars with them, because they believe they received these direct revelations from God and so on and so forth. Therefore, they can basically think that, you know, hey, we can do whatever we want because we need to do these things. So I have a question for you. Who's wasting money here? A $2.5 billion Mars rover project, or a $1.38 trillion war going on? Which side is wasting money? And please feel free to leave your answers in the comment section down below. I'd really love to see your answers about this particular issue, because I do disagree with you when it comes to wasting money. Now, one of the things about Christianity is the fact that they do like to hold mankind back as far as knowledge is concerned. They want to tell people that they cannot question anything, that they are to buy this story, hook, line, and sinker, and not ask any particular questions. You are not allowed to basically learn anything, especially if it's opposite from religion, especially if it's on the other side of the spectrum. Because religion thinks that science is of the devil, and that the devil is basically trying to sideswipe everybody into going with him. And that's what your particular position is. And as a result of this, I think this country has paid big time for this. And that is why I disagree with you on a lot of things. That's why I think that this particular religion of yours is a problem. And I hope that you can understand this, because I'm giving you all of this information because I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. And I want you to know that a lot of things that you mentioned in your video is simply not the case. And they are not the truth. And that is really amazing to me, to see an individual who is allegedly about the truth, but yet there's no truth in your video, not an ounce of truth. So like I said, who's wasting money? Who's spending a lot of unnecessary money in situations? How many people could have been fed here in this country that we live in from $1.38 trillion? How many people could have been housed from that? Nobody was housed from that. Nobody was fed from that. A lot of churches are being built while people are living in boxes across the street. A lot of religious individuals drive nice cars. A lot of religious individuals have nice houses. And other people have to live under bridges and fight for every meal that they get. So tell me, who is wasting money here, Slim Jim? Tell me. And that's something that you really need to answer. And hopefully you can answer it soon. And that's basically why I wanted to share these things with you, because I think that a lot of the things that you said in your video, like I said before, are really inaccurate. And they do not represent the truth at all, in any way, shape, or form. Did you know, Slim Jim, that $878.5 billion was spent on defense, while NASA only got 19.3 for its budget? Now tell me, who is wasting money here? This is sickening. This is ridiculous. And I wanted to bring it to your attention because there are a lot of things that I highly disagree with in your video, and I think that you were misleading a lot of people. In your video, Slim Jim, I noticed that you were asking a question. You were asking, how much knowledge can we possibly gain from science, and are we really getting our money's worth? And I'm going to have to say you are getting your money's worth and more. You see, there's plenty of knowledge of science out there. You just have to take it upon yourself to actually learn these things, to question things, and to actually admit that you can make a mistake. You see, religion doesn't do that. Religion likes to believe that it doesn't make any mistakes and that it has a lot of things to learn. Well, I actually have to disagree with that. Science has plenty of things to learn about. You just have to take it, like I said, upon yourself to go out there and really obtain the knowledge for yourself and to really learn how this planet works and how this universe works and so on and so forth. Because the knowledge that you obtain about these particular subjects is knowledge that will forever remain in your mind, that will forever fascinate you about this particular universe that we live in. And that is what I have to say on this particular subject. Science has a lot of things to offer. Science has a lot of things to educate society. Science gathers up all of these tools and uses them in an important way to actually try to understand this planet that we live on and try to understand the universe. And it's a very honest thing to do, to actually admit, I don't know, but I could learn with science. I could learn a lot of things with science. And you can too. And that's all I have to say about this. Science allows you to think for yourself, to really pick up the information that you see and analyze it for yourself. And that's what I have to say on this. So when it comes to getting your money's worth and how much you can learn, so on and so forth, all of those things do happen. You are getting your money's worth and you are learning a lot when you decide to have the determination to think for yourself instead of being involved with something that tells you how to think, not what to think. And that's all I have to say about that particular issue. So in closing, Slim Jim, I really think that you need to expand your knowledge on what this universe has to offer and what this planet has to offer. Because basically you're looking at life through a toilet paper roll and you're not paying attention to anything that's around you. You're only thinking one way and you're not willing to think any other way, especially when it's on the opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to religion. And if that's the way that you want to be, then more power to you. I'm not this particular individual that is going to tell you what to think or what you want to study or so on and so forth. I believe each individual in this country should have the right to do whatever they want. Now, one last thing that I wanted to mention is the fact that you wanted us to provide proof that there is aliens out there in this universe. You were asking, well, where's your proof? Where's your proof? You do realize that we don't have to provide proof about anything like that because we are not making claims. that aliens do exist. And that's all there is to it. And the thing is, you Christians tend to have that particular position on, well, you must prove that God doesn't exist. No, we don't. We're not the ones making the claims here. And that is something that you need to understand. Last but not least, please take this video into consideration. Now, I know that you probably ain't going to watch this video. You're probably not going to spend any time watching it. And to be honest with you, I don't really care. I just wanted to get a few things off of my chest to my subscribers. And I went ahead and did something that I normally don't do, which is make a big video. But there were a lot of things in your video that I obviously disagreed with, and I wanted to talk about those things in this video. Now, if you do watch this, great. If you don't, who cares? I mainly made this, again, for my subscribers to watch. And basically, they know how I feel about these particular issues. And please feel free to leave your thoughts, like I said earlier, in the comment section down below. Now, to my subscribers, please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. I would really like to see your opinions on this particular subject. And like I said, the individual that I'm talking to is someone that is a little ridiculous, if you will, when it comes to these things. And the particular video that I'm responding to will be provided in the description as well for you to take a look at, amongst all of the other links that I was talking about in this video. So please feel free to share this video with anyone that might be interested, whether it be on Facebook, Google+, Tumblr, Reddit, or wherever you guys hang out. I'd really appreciate that. Until next time, the Quiet Atheist is out. And remember, if you can't be good at it. And most of all, thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.